Hi, welcome back to Guessagaingaming. So today I'm going to talk about a game called Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires. I'm sure if you've played any amount of games you'll know the Dynasty Warriors series. It goes back way back into PlayStation 2 and before that. It's a long running series of games. There's quite a few variants. There's the normal Dynasty Warriors games, there's Dynasty Warriors Empires, which is slightly more tactical. I wouldn't say it's massively tactical, but it's slightly more tactical bits in it. And there used to be a game on PlayStation 2 called Dynasty Warriors Tactics, which I really actually liked. I think it's called Dynasty Tactics, which I really liked. That was very tactical, and there was only 2 of those, and then they never kept making it, so that's a shame. But anyway, it was much more like a turn-based tactics game, which I think suited that scenario quite well, but that's a whole nother story. So Dynasty Warriors is a game that I played pretty often. I used to play it a lot on PlayStation 2 and 3, but then the older I got and the more games there was available, the more I kind of stopped playing that, and I've not played the last 2 or 3 Dynasty Warriors series. In fact, I don't think I've ever played one on PlayStation 4, so that's a while. But then suddenly recently I thought, I really quite fancy playing, and this is an insult to the game by the way, a really basic dumbass game. And if you want a basic sort of dumbass combat game, Dynasty Warriors is your game. It's even simpler. Rage 2 is kind of a dumbassy shooting game, but Dynasty Warriors is even more dumbass than that, and that's not a negative in the game. It's just, you don't have to think about it. You can just run around hack and slashing everything and doing what you want, and it doesn't matter, and that's fun sometimes. So I'd already heard negative things about Dynasty Warriors 9 being open world, and I didn't like what I heard. Not that I was going to run out and buy it, certainly not at full price, but I didn't like what I heard, so I thought, whatever. And then suddenly I kind of felt like playing Dynasty Warriors. I didn't want to play the normal base game. In fact, I think mostly I played the Empires versions earlier, once I kind of got used to different versions and how they played. And there's a shop, physical shop that sells discs near where I live, and I got the disc for like £10. I had some trading things, so it didn't really cost me anything, and I thought, well, if it's free, it's free. Basically, you trade in old games and video to get second-hand games from them that they've already got in store, so it's quite a good place to go if you want discs at 0 price and you've got stuff to get rid of. So I did, and I've been playing it a bit, and these are just some of my thoughts on it. As you can see, I'm not going to go into all the gameplay a bit because it's a little bit complicated, but it's not that complicated if you played these before, and it's not worth going into it at the moment. I'll make you another video about it further down the line. So you've got these little tactical things. You've got the usual thing where you've got a kind of throne room or your base, and you give out orders, and you can decide where to invade or what parts of your territory to buff up, or whether you want to train people or collect gold and things like that. And you can start off either being one of the main characters that's a historical character from Dynasty Warriors, or you can make your own character. I'll come to that in a moment. Then you get these tactical screens when you want to invade. I'm just invading somewhere for the sake of it, just for the sake of it. If you can see the top of the screen in the right, I'm very undernumbered to invade, but I just wanted to show a battle, because battles don't happen that often in the Empires mode, so I had to kind of engineer one just to show you. So you get these things, you can have a secret plan, but I haven't got any secret plans to have, and so I'm going to say yes to that. And you can see the layout on the right, which is how the battle will look, which is again different to how Dynasty Warriors is, where you're just literally running in and hack and slashing. And you can give individual commands to different units, but I've only got one unit, and it tells you different bits and pieces. Let's just start the battle. So back to character creation. So you can create your own character, and you'll start off as a kind of vagrant warrior going around pillaging until you get somewhere where you can start your own little vagrant army, and then you can start raiding and trying to take over territory. Now this is a character I created here, and I think she looks quite nice. But what I would say is that the character creation for characters is not as good as the characters you have. So what I mean by that is the set characters have really ornate and fancy costumes, and the things you can create for your own character aren't as exciting. Some of them are a bit weird actually. Some of them look like schoolgirl skirts and things that you wouldn't wear in ancient China anyway. Some of them are a bit rubbish, and I know there's DLCs for it, but none of the DLCs are really, some of them are okay, and then again some of those aren't really appropriate for ancient China. I would never play a game set in an historical period and play in a costume that's not from that period. I think that's ridiculous, for me anyway. So this is kind of what you end up with, these kind of like nice looking get up, and you can get armour, but it looks a bit over the top. Whereas, like I said, the pre-made characters from ancient China, and there's a lot of them, the ones from all the previous Dynasty Warrior games, they look better. So if you're going to make your own character, you may only want to make one or two, because making lots, you won't be able to make them all that different. The combat's the same as with any Dynasty Warriors game. Nothing's changed. You're running in, attacking, you've got all your different moves. And I'll just show you a little bit just to give you an idea. I'm not going to do the whole of this because I'm going to end up dead. But it's the same as, it's fun. It's silly and fun. And you can almost do it in your sleep. I'm playing it on, I think, normal difficulty. That's why I've only just started Dynasty Warriors again. I've not played it for quite a while, but I think I used to play it on the next up difficulty or something like that. I'm not one for playing games on supreme difficulty just for the sake of it. I don't see the point in getting killed too often. So, but this is a game I've probably played on higher difficulty because it's quite simple on low difficulties. Not with when you've got one army against a lot. And apparently I've got 229 soldiers against 7,294, so I don't think I'm going to win. But anyway, that's how combat looks. If you've played Dynasty Warriors ever, that's probably exactly how it looks in every other game. In fact, it doesn't look any different at all. And one of the things, and one of the main things I wanted to touch on with this little review is, that guy's annoying me now, he's going to kill me, yeah, he's killed me, is, now I've got no troops, I'm going to run away, is that it's really not a 50, 60, 40 pound game. It looks no different to the other Dynasty Warriors games I play, and bearing in mind I was playing them on PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3, and it looks exactly the same. In fact, I don't even think it looks as good as the last time I played Dynasty Warriors on PlayStation 3. So it's not a game that's like, wow, its graphics are amazing at all. It's open world, but it's not that much to do in the open world. You can just run around a lot, really. Just me and all these people. There's no army, just me and 7,252 people and catapults, so I'm not doing well. Luckily I saved before I started this. But yeah, if you can see, it doesn't look anything special. It looks, I'd say, I was very disappointed when I started playing it, not with the content, because I expected it to be Dynasty Warriors Empires. I knew how that would play, and I'm quite happy with the content. I didn't really want it to change, but graphically it looks no better and almost worse than the last time I played Dynasty Warriors on PlayStation 3. So graphically it's not that great. The content isn't much different to the previous Empires games, and that's not a bad thing. But if you paid full price for this when it came out, you were robbed, and it's still going for, I think, £50 on PlayStation Store, then forget that. That's ridiculous. It's a game, if you get it like I got for virtually nothing from trading in other physical games, then that's worth it. And if you get it in a deep sale in the future on PlayStation, fine. Maybe £10 or the equivalent in other currency, but anything more than that, it's not worth it. Just play an old Dynasty Warriors game, because this is, and you can pick those up very cheap on physical discs and DLCs, but this is certainly not worth anything more than £10-15 at best. There's nothing in this that isn't the last game, Empires, I played, which was years ago really. A few changes, and there's nothing graphically that's at all special. I would have thought the least thing they could do for that kind of price point, and bearing in mind they've not changed the content at all, really, is to make the graphics amazing, and loads of costumes and loads of customizable outfits, etc. But it really hasn't got any of that. So it's a game I'm going to enjoy, because I expect it to be Dynasty Warriors Empires, and that's what it's going to be. I paid nothing for it virtually, although of course I paid by the games I traded in at different times, so that's not the same. And even then it only cost me, like I said, £10-12. in trade-ins, but so I'm going to be fine with it, but I wouldn't have been fine if I'd spent any money on this much, because I would just have got a old Dynasty Warriors game for my PlayStation 3 and played that. And like I said, I think it's slightly disappointing the graphics really don't look at all better, I would say, than a game from PlayStation 3 from 10 years ago. Anyway, thanks for watching Guessagaingaming. While I run away, trying not to get killed. Take care till next time.